It's Sunday. How are you guys doing? Come on, Michelle. I'm over here, Michelle. Good morning. Michelle, you still got charged. I'm surprised. Good morning. Morning, Deborah. My faithful friend. She's always there with me. I had something in this pot all week long. Time to wash it clean so we can use it again. And Michelle is working today. Good morning, everyone. Katrina, hey. My Cali girl. It's not Cali girl who used to be here in Panama, is it? Katrina, I didn't know your first name. Is that you? Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a Cali girl. There's a girl who used to be here. She was a digital nomad. And I don't think I've ever interacted with her. I don't even think we've ever spoken. I just used to watch her videos. All right. So good morning, everybody. How are you? I am hoping we don't have a long one today. Welcome to the live. Good morning, Maggie, Joy. I enjoy watching your videos, looking to visit Panama. Yay, good, you should. You older than her, Katrina? So you must know who I'm talking about. All right, guys, so how was your week and how are you guys doing with everything that's happening? How are you holding up? You doing good? You know, I think a lot of people are just feeling so stressed out and just not sure how to manage it all. And I want you to know it takes, hola Greta, buenos dias. It just takes focus, right? So we don't get washed away in the wave of what is happening. And I think being in Panama, being away is a good distraction, right? Because getting my tea. It's a good thing to realize, you know, like I say, I live by the serenity prayer that says you change what you can and hey Andrea, and then you let go of what you can't. Okay, today's gonna be easy. Today I wanted to try some tofu. You know, I'm going back to whole food plant-based. So I try to eat fish maybe once a week and then that's it. So the rest of the week, I have to find a way to add protein. Good for you. I have to start coming out with ways to get protein. And you know, animal protein, as bad as people talk about it, that's where you get a lot of the vitamin B12 that is absorbed in your gut and things that are good for you, you know, for muscles and for nerve management. But when you, like, I try to eat the beef and it's just like, I wasn't eating pork and chicken, only a little bit, otherwise. So it's like, I'm gonna block all your members. All right. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna block you. No, I'm not a tofu person either. You know, when I first went into whole food plant-based, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Because I don't like tofu. To me, it just tasteless, which is what my daughter says about avocado, which I don't agree because I love avocado. But the only way I eat tofu, I use it as a garnish. or I would use it when I'm cooking ackee and saltfish. Sometimes I'll substitute it for the saltfish. Or if you're making an omelet, you can put tofu in there. Because remember, you're trying to get the protein, not necessarily enjoy the taste. So if you can mask it, just like apple cider vinegar. I used to try to put it in water and I was like, oh my God, that thing tastes so vile. So now I figured with the apple cider vinegar, I can put it in a smoothie. Then I don't have to taste it. You're just trying to use it in a way that you can hide it. So what I thought I'll do today, and again, when I cook, you guys, unless you ask me to do something specifically, I'll look at what I have in the fridge. What can I use? What do I need? What do I need to get rid of before they spoil? So I always have chickpeas, and chickpeas, tofu, green peas, lentil and stuff like that. You can get a decent amount of protein. You still need to take your vitamin B12 supplement if you are really you're not eating animal meat, okay? Because you need a little bit of a replacement. So I take vitamin B12 and folate, but I'm not as good as taking it every single day. And I was like, oh, did I take it today? Did I take it this week? No bueno. I'm not a good patient. I would not be a good patient, and I feel sorry for whoever's going to have to take care of me. So we're going to make a curry, and we told you a curry is not curry that we use for chicken and stuff. This curry is a mix of vegetables and beans and peas in a nice sauce. When I discovered curries, I was buying this block. It's a Japanese curry. You can go to any Asian store and get it. But then I started reading the ingredients, and of course they were like this long and I couldn't pronounce them. So it's like, And then it had MSG. I don't do MSG. So I threw it away, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to find a way to make my own curry. So I cooked some chickpeas this morning, and they cook really fast. And sometimes I have a hard time, they're really hard. And if you soak your peas overnight, they plump up, right? That's what you want. So bay leaves, and usually I put garlic, fresh garlic. I didn't this time. And then I had some leftover of the peas that I used last week to make the patties. Oh, those patties were a hit. Even my neighbor downstairs, she's like, I gave her, she's like, I'm sorry to say I'm my fourth patty. So she enjoyed it. Okay, that's good. And then I thought I would break it up with adding some green peas and some edamame, okay? I'm gonna blanch them like I usually do and then add them at the end because I want them to have that green pop of color. So we're gonna put that in there at the end. But then I look in the fridge and I'm like, okay, I have tomatoes. I'm gonna put that in there. I bought some okra. I told you we're gonna put some okra in there. And then we'll make sure we add some curry powder and some turmeric powder just to give it that orangey yellow color. And then, so usually you serve that with some grain. I'm trying to stay away from rice, y'all. I am trying. So, I don't have any rice? Okay, that's a good thing. So I went to find some quinoa because I was out of quinoa. And I was at the preserve yesterday playing with the little sloth, and I have some pictures there for you to see. And I was like, oh, I don't have time to go to my store to get the quinoa. Let me go to that particular store at the mall, which is Super 99. And it's very geared towards locals, and the locals don't care for grains like that. They're into el arroz. Arroz blanco, that's what they eat here. And I said, okay, I may not be able to find the quinoa. And then I look, I saw couscous. And I'm like, hey, let me try the couscous. I can't remember if I've used couscous in the past, but they have larger grains and they have medium. So this is medium. So it looks more like quinoa to me. So I'm gonna cook it like I cook quinoa and hope it comes out okay. So what we do usually, we just, I'm gonna use this Chinese bowl that I love, put the quinoa in there and then put the curry on the side. All right, enough talking. I don't have peppers, so no peppers to be used, but I always have onions. So we're gonna start with onion, garlic, and then at the end, I'll show you how I use the tofu. I don't put the tofu in the curry. what I do, it's been draining for about 30 minutes because tofu is wet. And when you buy tofu, you can buy the firm one or you can buy the medium one. Well, I was even glad to find tofu here in Panama, and it didn't say anything about firm or not. So at the end, I'm going to show you how I do it. I kind of really try to express as much liquid as I can because it is soy, right? Best ice cream topping. I'm not an ice cream person, so I can tell you. I know for my Thanksgiving, I'm making an apple pie, and then we usually do vanilla ice cream, so I don't know. Super 99. It's not my favorite store, but you can't find things that are like foreign because it's more geared towards the general population. But I did finally find a box of quinoa, and it was more expensive than Ray. So I was like, eh. And I'm just looking to get a big bag. So I think I got to go to PriceSmart for that. Okay. So we're going to use that. And then the tofu, I'm going to cook it like croutons. I cut it in that size, and then I toss them in a mixture of a little bit of flour, like I'm doing a topping for the fish. And I put a bit of cornmeal, and I put a little bit of curry powder and turmeric, and season it and top it, and then cook it in the skillet. And then it gets a nice and crispy side, and then I use it as a topping. That's the only way I can use, well, I told you the other way that I use tofu, because it's not something that I like. All right, so we have onions, I get some garlic, and I also buy the thing that I call malanga that I was gonna make okra, but I got lazy, and I do that a lot. When I get lazy and I'm like, not today. All right, guys, let's get going. Let's get cooking. Talk to me if you have any question. Yesterday, I think I took you with me on the live with some of you while I was coming out of and I'm using the Dutch oven today. And I still need to make some bread in here for you guys to see how you can make a loaf of bread in the Dutch oven and put it in there, and it comes out like a nice round loaf. But I'm trying to stay away from from bread, so that's gonna be a challenge. Ooh, my onion was going bad. You see? That's because I didn't cook through the week. Okay, this one is bad. No bueno. Okay. Hopefully the other one is good. Yep. This is the challenge, cooking here in Panama, because when I finish here on Sundays, the rest of the week, what did I cook this week? I'm trying to think if I even cooked. Like I said, I'll have eggs, and I've kind of cut back on the tomatoes this week because my knee was like talking to me, and I'm like, oh no, I don't have arthritis. I'm not gonna eat that because too much tomato product will aggravate your arthritis. So I pulled back, and yesterday I went for a long walk, and then coming back from the Smithsonian, I probably walked another hour. I'm like, wow. So yesterday evening, I was pooped. You hear me? I was tired. So I went to bed, woke up at 7 something, which is a treat for me because usually I wake up early. But I did not put the alarm on. So that was good. Alrighty. Olive oil. Yeah, I was gonna make the malanga, and I did not do it. I was too lazy. But when I do it, I will record it so you guys can see. But it's a treat. It's not something I should be eating. I haven't had it for years. So no carrots in this dish. It's just the green peas and then the rest of the peas. And also, I'm going to blend a little bit of the peas so that we can have the correct consistency, because it needs to be a thick sauce, right? And I'm having hibiscus tea with lemon and a cinnamon stick. I can drink this unsweetened. This is one of the things that I can do. And I also have some fresh vegetable stock that I'm going to use. Perfect. Plenty of garlic, as always. I went to Foodies this week and I was able to find some cilantro. I was going to make a dal, D-A-L or H-L, which is the Indian dish, and I cannot find cumin seeds anywhere. Anywhere. But I've not gone to Organica yet. So this is one of the things. A couple of sisters like, well, we're coming, we'll bring you some of that stuff. Please, I need some coriander seeds. I need some cumin seed, the largest size you can find, because I'll never find that here. I remember I used to look for Slap Your Mama, but I wasn't able to find it, even though it's in a smaller container. It's not a big size. And then I found Herbe de Provence, which is that French mix, and I bought one. You know, I look at the calendar and I was like, oh my gosh, it's only 12 days till Thanksgiving. And I'm going to have Friendsgiving. You want to hear my menu for my Friendsgiving? Of course, I'm going to have the turkey. I can't brine the turkey, so I think I posted to you guys that I was able to find a set, and it had a syringe, so I get to inject my turkey with the marinade. That's the next best thing if you can brine the turkey. And then I thought I'm going to have chicken wings with my special sauce that one of our subscribers told me about, where we use soy sauce, mustard, honey, Dijon mustard, what else do we use in there? Vinegar. No, I can't even remember what we put in it. Butter, and it's so good. So we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna cook some corvina, which is the fish. I buy the big steak, and then I'm gonna slice them thin. You know, not like a sushi or whatever, but a little bit thicker. Because I marinate that fish, you know, thinking of everybody getting a piece about this big, right? And I marinate it with the fresh herbs. It's yummy. And you know, fish doesn't need to be marinated for a long time, because it picks up the flavor really fast. And I make a breading with flour, cornmeal, seasoned, I put turmeric and everything now, right? And then you cook it on the skillet, and then I could finish it in the oven so it can crisp up a little bit. So we're gonna do that for the fish. Last time I made meatballs, but I'm not making meatballs this time. I think that's enough. So I don't even know yet how many we're gonna have. I have 6 RSVPs so far, but I need to put the invite. What I don't want to do is put the invite on the Facebook, because, I mean, yeah. So I just put it in with the SWRA chat. And some people, you know, on the outside that I know, because my purpose for doing this is just, I don't want anybody who is here alone, you know, first got here, not to have, you know, to be with folks. When you don't have your family, and this is what SWAT is about. We're creating our own family here, so, but some of the ladies, you know, they have other friends and they have other things going on, and I tell them, don't feel bad. You don't have to come to mine. In fact, if I don't have 30 people, that'll be good because that's a lot of food. Food is expensive, so. But anyway, so that's that. And then I thought for appetizers, I'd do a crudité plate, which means raw veggies, cereal, so we're gonna do that, and then the crudité is gonna be, yeah, and then you do like a dipping sauce, you know, like a dressing, like a ranch looking type of dressing. You know, I don't know what I had. I made what did I make? I made a sour cream dressing that was really, really good. I herbed it, you know, and then it was really nice, so I might do that. And then I thought I would make, I'm going to make ratatouille. Ratatouille is like a mix of veggies, so that means while they're eating their food, they can have a little block of ratatouille, which is eggplant and tomatoes and zucchini and squash and something else. Eggplant, zucchini and squash, tomatoes, and peppers, bell peppers. And then you cook it in the oven. And then I put marinara in it to keep it soft. Yeah, no, nobody should be alone for the holidays. And then I'm gonna cook rice and peas, of course, and now it's like, which peas do I use? So I'm thinking I'm doing pinto beans this time with coconut milk, gonna be nice. And then I'm cooking some quinoa on the side because we do have a couple of vegetarians. And so they have plenty of choices between the crudité, ratatouille, rice, they'll be good. I may do some mac and cheese. I was doing mac and cheese or scalloped potatoes, so it's gonna be in between the two. I'm not doing both. And then I thought I'd do a small dish of green bean casserole for those who might be missing the American style of Thanksgiving. And then I remember last time I was looking for cranberry sauce, and when I came with it, and I made it into a sauce and everything, and then my friend Sonia, she said, what did you do to the cranberry sauce? I said, well, I made a sauce out of it. She said, no, you're supposed to keep it like a gel. I'm like, ew. If I can have some cranberry sauce, I'll have it there, right? Let's see, what else did I say I was gonna do? You know, they have chicken wings, they have turkey, they have scalloped potatoes or mac and cheese. Something sweet potato. I haven't decided yet what we're gonna do for sweet potatoes. You know, you kind of try to recreate the regular, you know, because we're not celebrating Thanksgiving per se. The truth behind Thanksgiving, we're not into that. But, all right, so my habanero peppers are here. I'm gonna throw a whole one in there. And I found that I have some leftover green, oh no, this is celery, I don't want that. I thought we had some green beans. Oh yeah, these are like green onions. So I'm gonna use that because you see they're gonna start going bad, so I'm gonna make sure I use them. Nothing should go to waste. Never try not to throw anything away out of your fridge. Just figure out. And if you learn how to make curries, anything, any vegetable you have that's starting to look a little just throw it in there, okay? Because you don't want to, that's your hard-earned money. Don't throw anything away. And that's what I do. If I see something starting to look a little wilted, you could use them to make stock, right? But don't throw your veggies away. because all it does is just enrich your dish, right? So don't throw anything away. I feel bad when I throw food away, I guess, from my upbringing. And then for dessert, I'm thinking I might do what we call a pâte feuilletée, and I probably would record that to show you how you make the dough so you can get the different layers. You know what you do, you have the dough, you don't put any leavening in it, and then you just put like butter, and then you roll the butter on top of the dough, and then you keep folding, put it in the fridge 30 minutes, push, fold, you do that 6 times. And that's how you get the different little layers. And then you can put anything you want in it. For us, what we call pâté, we do a mixture of, you know, usually they do green beef, ground beef and other things. I think I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do a veggie mixture and put it in there. And I have to think of a meat to put in there. Usually regular fish doesn't work. You can do salt fish, like what we call bacalao or salted cod. But I'm trying to control my costs, so I'm not gonna bring, so I may cook, you know, some chicken thighs, not chicken breasts, because chicken thighs has less moisture than the chicken breast, right? When you cook it, you put some peppers, onion, and then you cut the dough in like little squares, and then you fold them over using your fork for the edges, brush it with an egg wash, and then put it in the oven. And then they puff up, ooh, really good. And I'll make an apple pie. Apple pie is easy. And I was thinking, what else I was thinking of for dessert? Maybe a fruit salad. The fruit salad is easy, because I always want to give people something fresh and it's not all fat. But last time we had somebody bought a cheesecake. You can pre-order a cheesecake from River Smith. And then that's always, and we usually get the strawberry. And that's usually good. 13 bean soup. Ooh, no, I need to try that. 13. Does it really have 13 beans? So I'm assuming you have kidney beans, white beans, pinto beans, black beans. What other beans do you put in there? All right, so we got that going. I also have a head of broccoli. So towards the end, we might put a little bit in there. All right, and we have, and you know, of course, when we have our okra, nahu, we put it towards the end because it's not gonna take so long to cook. Yes, 13. Oh, it comes in a bag. Oh, okay. Well, you know, beans, as long as you season it and you put something in it, I mean, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. So right now I am cooking not cooking, but just cutting up the nahu, the okra, so that they'll be ready for the end. So we're gonna let this soften a little bit, then we're going to season. And then I'm gonna add the chickpeas. I'm going to blend half of whatever those yellow peas that were left. And then we're gonna start letting it simmer down. And then I'm gonna, once I put the beans in, then I'll cook the couscous, because it won't take long. It's gonna cook as fast as quinoa. Yeah, beans are yummy and they're good for you. You know, I have to tell you that I noticed that A lot of Caribbean people, they don't have as much osteoporosis as the rest of the world because they eat a lot of beans. All right? And you know, beans are like poor man's food. Because if you put beans and then you throw some grains, that's what they used to feed their children. Some potatoes. Now the curry, you can put potatoes in, you know that, right? Usually I have squash, you know, I'm a squash nut. So I'll put squash in it, but I don't have squash today. So you use whatever is available to you. That is how you make a curry. Whatever you have in the house, that's what you use with the beans, okay? You just need to make sure you build your flavor. Make sure you have good stock. And then use lots of herbs, you know, like that habanero is going to release the flavor from the skin into it. That's why I use it. It's not to make it hot. I'm gonna put a couple of bay leaves in there. So yesterday I was really tired, you know. I walked for 2 hours, then I had my class. And for some reason, I went over until one lady said, Maggie, how long is this class? And I looked, it was 12 o'clock. And Greta can attest to that. And I'm like, oh my God. So we had a 2-hour class. Then I've been wanting to go to that Smithsonian Preserve facility. And I said, oh, I know I'm tired, but I'm going to make it. And I'm so glad I did because I was sitting on this bench just enjoying the water, the canal was behind me and everything. And then I see one of the young guys, you know, they're like kids in college who are managing those places and telling me all about it because they're passionate about it. And then she was looking down under the bench. And then I looked down and there was that sloth there. They're usually in the trees. And I'm like, what's it doing there? So I was like talking to it. Oh, sweetie. He started to come out. And I had the best pictures. He was this close to me, his nose and his face. Oh my God, I was so excited. I took videos after videos. And even the girl, she said, I work here. And I've never seen them down like that. He must know that you like him. I'm like, oh my gosh. That was a moment because my friend Sonia said she went to a reserve or whatever, you know, when they take care of them, and she ended up holding one. Well, I don't want to hold a sloth, no. I like animals, but I like them, you know, from a distance. I know we have dogs and cats, but even those animals are meant to be outside in the wild, okay? So I took some pictures and I'm like, okay, now I can just check it off my bucket list because I've been here almost 3 years and this is the first time I have, you know, seen a sloth so up close. I was so excited. Oh my God, it made my day. So today I'm like, you know, bouquet garni, right? So I am like, oh wow. It would be nice if I could, you know, especially it's kind of cloudy today, like it's gonna rain. I'd love to be like at a movie theater watching a good movie, but they haven't had anything good. But I haven't looked to see, because otherwise it's on the computer again. And I'm on that computer a lot. Okay, garam masala. I ended up buying one of these, but herb de Provence, definitely I'm going to try to put some of that in there. Oh, I can't read what it says, but it's got marjoram. Marjoram is a good spice to have. Ooh, nice. All right. Like cumin. You know, I've been using a lot of cumin. Of course, paprika. This. Okay. I was like, this thing is acting up. And like I said, I think I'm going to hire a photographer for my recipe book. I haven't done anything with the recipe this week, and that's a no bueno. Let's see what else we have. Parsley. Perejil, ¿dónde está? Okay, parsley, dry parsley. This is what you're building flavor. Make sure you're putting the right spices together, okay? Some red pepper flakes. There is romero. I don't put romero in stuff like that. Rosemary, I only use with meat, okay? Because you have kind of, don't get too excited and just mix. Make sure you know what you're mixing. Okay. We did the herbe de Provence, pepper, black pepper. I love black pepper. And cumin. I saw a little spice thing the other day. I said I'm gonna buy it and then figure out. Does anybody use this one, tagine? I think they use it in Mexico. Greta, if you know what this is, let me know. I bought it and I tasted it. It tasted a little funny, so I haven't used it. But I need to research it. And this is albahaca, basil. I love basil too. All right. And you want to make sure you season while your vegetables is like this and not put all the water and then do the seasoning. I don't do that. I know people cook their rice like that some places. I don't. And I'm not cooking rice. Anyway, so this is turmeric. Turmeric is good for you. And some curry powder. Now, you know, I had to have the big guns because and curry powder is just a mixture of a lot of different things too. So it's like you are really seasoning when you're using that. All right. And again, I wanted to burn here first. And that's why I wanted the cumin seed, right? All right, now we're going to put the, oh, I need a couple of bay leaves in there as well. Listen, I told you I bought this for like $1.50. That's a lot of bay leaves. So I'm going to be using this for a while. All right, 2 or 3. Hey, listen, won't hurt anything. All right, so now let's put the chickpeas in. And I've decided it's like half a bag. That's a lot of peas from half a bag, right? A 1 pound bag, I only use half. And it gave me, oh, and yesterday I saw this arroz con coco. So I said, well, let me try it. Why would I do that? I could use my coconut milk. I just want to see what it tastes like. Maybe I'll use that for the party. Oh, yeah. You know, in Panama, when you go get your food, they always say, you can have arroz plain, or you can have arroz con coco. They love to put cocoa in their rice. And then they put some sugar in it too. Now that one is a turn off for me. We don't need sugar that much. No. All right, so I'm gonna turn the heat up. So if you were to do just chickpeas, listen, you could stop right here, okay? You could stop right here, and this would be good on top of mashed potatoes. It would be nice with like some pasta, and then you know you're getting some, and I'm getting all the stuff at the bottom of the pan, right? Because this is where the flavor is. You want to make sure you scrape it and get it all mixed into. Right, ooh, that looks good. And then I usually taste here to make sure my flavors are on point. So there's no salt that went in here, so I might need salt. Ooh. Mess up my thing. Mm. I do not like a messy kitchen. I'm forever wiping. All right. So it looks like it might need a little heat. You know what? I think that garam masala would be good in here. Let me go ahead. Remember I told you I got that? It's like $7. I'm like, ooh, sorry. That's expensive. But I think it will be good in here. This is that mix of Indian spices. Ooh, all right. Garam masala. And again, when you're cooking Indian, you want to toast the spices and then blend them. Oh, it smells amazing. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, now I'm ready to throw the water that the beans were cooked in. Yeah, you don't want to throw that away. Okay. And I think I need a little more because we have to put the okra in there and the rest of the other peas. So I'm going to use a little bit of my stock. Because the curry should not be like a soup. It was going to be a little bit thicker, just a tad. All right. All right. Let it cook. In the meantime, we are going to start our couscous. That's going to be good. I'm going to turn the heat in the back. I don't want to use too much because again, that's going to be carb. So I'm going to put a little oil, a little salt. So I've had this little sea salt thing forever because, you know, I don't use a lot of salt. All right, so we don't need this anymore. No more parsley. We already did the bouquet garni. We did the bouquet garni with the thyme. So we're going to put the water on so we can blanch our veggies. Remember the green peas and the edamame? We're gonna, I think I'm just gonna use edamame, the green peas, not edamame. Edamame is soy also. And if I have the tofu already, I don't need to do that. As soon as the couscous is cooking, we're gonna start on the tofu, okay? I was able to find some dill the other day. I bought it, but I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. I do that a lot. It's like, oh, I see this herb. It's like, okay, Maggie, what are you going to use it for? Something else one of the recipes called for is fresh curry leaves. Where am I going to find curry leaves? Come on. You need a bank loan to purchase spices here. Listen, it's not funny. It's true. Couscous tastes like quinoa. It really does. I think it's, I see it in a lot of Jewish recipes. So you could do couscous salad when they have the one with the big grains. And it's good. Thank you, Greta. Thank you for asking them to hit the like button. You know, I tell you this YouTube thing. Last night I looked, it said I had 18,703. I'm like, ooh, finally we got out of the 600. This morning I woke up, it says 18,690. It's like, either people unsubscribe or I have no idea. So I said to myself, quit looking at the thing. Quit looking at it. So, because I'm not going to worry about it. I do not worry. Okay. My tea. Good for your blood pressure, to cleanse the liver. Okay. A ver. So I wonder if and I've been struggling with some little mite that gets into anything that I open and I put a clip on it. Sometimes I'll see something in there. I had like some leftover pasta, so everything I open now I put in the fridge. You gotta watch for these little critters here in Panama. Let me tell you, they are active because of the heat and everything, so you have to keep your eye out for everything. We don't have mosquitoes, but you see what it looks like, Greta? It looks like quinoa. All right. I'm gonna rinse it just, you know, to be on the safe side, but so usually I said, you know, for quinoa is 1-to-1. 1 cup a grain, 1 cup water or liquid. I should have put some of my stock in there, but that's okay. So that's like half the box. Wow, okay. And you know, you got a box like that, it's like $5, so they're not cheap. I was able to find the Japanese red chili when I was trying to get stuff to do the dal. So if I get those curry seeds, definitely. Thank you, Peaceful. Hola, Infinite 8 Flow. Wow, you guys come up with some really interesting names. That is awesome. All right, let's rinse this out. Just in case. All right, let's put it in and pray that it comes out with the right consistency. Otherwise, I'm gonna be embarrassing myself here on the live. But I think the last time I used couscous, the grains were bigger. But, all right. Okay, the other thing that I need to do is to bring the rest of those beans in here. Let me cover this so it will boil faster. And sometimes this stupid stove, if you reset it, then it gets hot. Don't ask me why. And sometimes it will also shut itself off. And I remember the last handyman told me, he said, well, we don't know why, but sometimes if it shuts itself off, I have to go to the electric panel and turn it back on. I don't know what that means. All right, so we're gonna put This is what I have left from last week. So I'm going to put some of it in the blender so it will thicken our curry. And then I don't want to put more fluid in there, so I'm going to take a little bit of this and put it in here just to thicken it. Okay, that's good. That's a bit pasty. Okay. We're experimenting with the couscous. All right, I'm gonna blend this real quick. Maybe pulse it, just pulse. Put it in. We're playing with our food, ladies. All right. Ooh. The couscous is already thickening. Yeah, it looks like quinoa, doesn't it? Quinoa tastes better, but all right. So let's cover it up so that it will cook. Cover it tight, and then I turn the thing down to 3, which is the setting I use. Okay, so now we're ready to work on the tofu. Let me rinse the okra because that's what's left to add. I love fried okra too, but I think I'm going to experiment with the other pack that I have. I'm going to experiment with the breading that I do for the tofu. I'm going to cut the okra, smaller, like this one would be half. And then I'm going to toss it in that and put it in the oven and see if that can be an acceptable substitute. And I'll show you what it looks like. All I remember was you were trying to get a 5,000 subscribers. I know. No, I try not to worry about it, because it was like that one video, as I said, that went viral, and it was like I got like 2,500 subscribers. It was just like that. I was like, wow. And I don't know what nerve that video hit, but it seemed like it resonated with a lot of people, right? Enjoying another of your tastefully meals. Thank you. Listen, I think because I love cooking so much that, like I said, I'm playing with my food. I just love being in the kitchen. It's a release for me. And I meet so many sisters here. They're like, do you have a name of a chef? Because I don't cook. And I'm like, oh, I just can't even relate to that. Because to me, cooking, the whole experience is just so healing. All right, guys, so we're gonna use one of my clean towel. I'm gonna put the tofu in here. And you know, I had more water that came out of it, but we're gonna put it on the, right? We're gonna just, you know, dry it as much as we can. You know, if you ever watch a program about how they make tofu, it's a whole process, okay? And I know, who was it who said, yeah, there's a lady, she's vegan. I'm not vegan, but she makes tofu at home. I said, girl, I take my hat off to you. I don't have that level of patience. I like to you know, eat clean, but I don't like to spend, you know, hours doing one thing. That's what I'd love to learn to make kimchi, because I love kimchi. But the process seems so involved, and I'm like, I don't know. All right, guys, so what I want to do, the same dish that I drained the tofu in, I'm going to clean it, dry it, and then make that mixture that we're going to toss them in, okay? Ooh, I think I have a little bit of flour left, not a lot. I don't use flour. Oh no, I have another pot. Yes, I think I bought some. Yeah. I think I bought another. There's panko, not panko, a bit of, well, I guess I didn't. I bought red lentils. Okay. What is that? Oh, okay, now here. Here they call it harina de trigo. That's flour here in Panama. Because I didn't want to buy, you know, one of those Mrs. Mills or whatever. So I'm just putting a little bit in here to toss the tofu in. Okay? And again, because I told you I'm having that little issue with the little critters. I don't put anything in the cupboard. They don't care for beans, but anything else they try to get in. And I have some cornmeal, this is the Panamanian version that is like, but somebody had brought me some real cornmeal, and I'm going to put a little bit of that in there as well. This is what this lady brought me: stone ground, real good grits, gluten-free, non-GMO. Ooh, says all the right words. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of that in there. And I have, if you had a little panko, you could go ahead and add some of that in there. Oh, I put that in there too. ¿Dónde está? Probably right in front of me. This is the plain breadcrumb. I don't make meatloaf, of course, but put a little bit of that in there. Yes. And then we season it. It's the thought. So you could do the same thing if you wanted to put the fish that you wanted to bread a little bit. So we're just gonna season this. Paprika. A little bit. Parsley. Not romero. And cumin. Basil. Black pepper. And turmeric. I put turmeric in everything, I told you. That way you're sure you get the benefit. So I probably need to add a little salt to this. Yes. Un poquito de sal. All right. So now we're gonna cut the tofu in small dice, and then we are going to toss them in there. In the meantime, let me check on my curry. So we have the okra to put in there, and maybe a little bit of broccoli, some broccoli. It's getting there. It needs to cook a little bit more. All right. So, because I don't want big chunks, I'm gonna cut this in half. Now, tofu is very delicate, so you're gonna have to be careful, okay? When you cut it, just be gentle. I think this much, this big. And then I'm just gonna throw them in there. The cubes. I think I need more color. So we're probably gonna do some curry powder. Oh, you see? I just touched it and it's breaking away. And sometimes if you make omelette, tofu is a nice thing to just chop and put in your pepper mixture with your onions and stuff. And that way you don't feel too bad. But you know, if you're getting eggs, you're already getting protein. So I don't see why you would even want to do that, right? And I was talking to this sister the other day, and she's like, no, an egg, I can't do the egg white. I don't like the egg white when I boil eggs. But if I cook eggs, yes. I'll eat that. All right. There's a music that is so typically Panamanian. Whenever anybody hears that music, everybody starts screaming. Ah! And then Panama played, what did we play this week? Guatemala. And we won 3-2. Woo! But the Guatemalans were really rude to our players. I was sad. And I'm like, yo, brothers, what's up with that? You see how they're starting to their shape? That's what you do with tofu. That way you don't have to worry that it's like a a big mess. It's not gonna break if you do it like that. And then we're just gonna toss them in the in a skillet, and then we just use it as a garnish. All right, so we did that. Now look at that. Why are you going down and not bubbling over? I don't know, it looks like we may have to use a little bit of the cornstarch because I do need the consistency to be a little on the thicker side. All right, let's check the couscous, see what it looks like. Does it look like a pasty mess? It's not as grainy as the quinoa, but I guess it will work. So it doesn't take a lot of water at all. I would say next time put less water, okay? But we can work with it. Definitely would work with the curry. Okay. All right, I'm putting the okra in. I'm gonna cover it, let it cook a little bit more. So the okra is gonna take like 5 minutes. It does not take a long time to cook because I don't want it to be slimy, right? All right, ooh, looks good. Play with your food. Play with your food. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to maybe cut up a little bit of the, I'm not even using all, one head of broccoli like this, 1 crown. This could be like $3 here, just this. They're not playing. They are not playing. So we're just gonna put a little bit of the broccoli. I think it's gonna be good for the colors. Let us boil the water for the beans. Green peas, they have a decent amount of protein as well. I don't know if you know that. I didn't know that in the beginning until I went and looked at a list. We don't need a lot of that green beans. It's just, I want that contrast in there. Green peas. It's a green bean, green peas. In fact, I was reading, like string beans we call habichuelas. And then these they call something else. I think I wrote it down. We have names for everything here in Panama. Broccoli. Broccoli is broccoli. Eggplant, berenjena. Berenjena, that makes sense because in French it's aubergine, so that's close. I could have you saying no bueno. Oh, I don't know how I got started with the no bueno, but no bueno, it says a lot to me. It says exactly what I want to say. All right, I'm going to use this one for the tofu and see how that works. tortillas to rinse. I just noticed I had a little bit of that green peas. Oh, green onion, I should say. La Monta de Panama. So we're going to cover our green peas with the hot water, like we always do, and cover it so the heat will cook it. Now this is cooking. I found some extra green onion, so I'm just going to throw it in there, because nothing should go to waste. Nothing should go to waste. Alright. And we're rinsing the broccoli. Make sure it's ready. Okay. Slicing the cucumber florets, the broccoli florets. All right, so let's see. A little bit of sunflower oil. Eso. That's the song Panama is famous for. I think Hilario, one of the Panamanian gentlemen, always gives me a history lesson. He said that somebody created this song for Panama. Oof. I wonder if this is hot enough. Alright. So we are going to put our tofu in here. Easy does it. I don't want to break them. Right? And then we're just going to use the pan to just toss them around. Make sure they get crispy. And then they'll be done. It looks really good on top of the curry. So that way we don't have to worry about decoration. This is the only way I'm eating tofu. Otherwise it's just so bland and I'm like, oh no, no bueno. I can smell the garam masala in here, but it doesn't have enough heat for me. So I'm going to chop a little bit of the habanero in the curry. I need a bit more heat. Just about done, but as I said, I think I need a little bit of cornstarch, just a tad, to give it the consistency, because what I don't want is for the okra to be overcooked and then falling over and opening and just making a big mess. So we're gonna take the bay leaves out, we're gonna take the bouquet out. Bay leaves. And then our green peas are gonna go in there, just they need to say nice and green. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. And of course we're gonna need a splash of lime juice. Broccoli goes in, and the green peas. All right, so we know that our tofu is good. See how pretty it looks? Yes. So you can play with your food and eat your tofu. So we will turn the light off here, the stove off here. And of course, oh, that looks amazing. This off. And look at this curry. Look how pretty. Yes, ma'am. Now, you know, broccoli, not gonna take long. So let me get the cornstarch. Just a little bit. So I guess cornstarch should be something that you always have in your kitchen, because it saves the day and gives you, if it was a soup, yes, this would be perfect for a soup. But this is a curry, it's not a soup. So it needs to be a little thicker, okay? All right, so we're gonna finish with some lime juice and maybe a little pat of butter. That's it. That's all we need. All right. Where is that lime? Remember that lime is like a finisher, or lemon. You just add it at the end. It adds a little brightness to your dish. Just like a little pat of butter does. It gives it a little glistening look. Ooh, yeah. Okay, we can take this one out. The habanero. Okay, now it's got the little heat that I need. A little salt. So why wouldn't you enjoy eating this, right? You could have naan bread or pita. It needs a bit more acid. Can you believe that? More acid. Okay. And then a little bit of butter. But if you're vegan, you can leave it out. Remember, this is my favorite butter here. Anchor Sin Sal, unsalted. It's from New Zealand. I know it's like $11, but I don't mind paying it because I don't eat a lot of it. All right, we can turn this off. We are done and ready to plate. Doesn't that look great? I'm following your recipes. My husband and I live on such tight budget. Good, because if you cook something like this, you could eat it for 2-3 days. You save money that way, right? Because I don't go to a restaurant unless the ladies, like this week we went to a sushi place. Yeah, and I had the sushi, and of course the next day my face was a bit swollen, but you know, it's like a once in a while thing. And it was an event I had to go to, so sometimes I have to do it. But I remember, like I was telling someone, go into this fancy Italian restaurant, and you know, they had all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, let me just have like a vegetable lasagna, and the vegetable lasagna came around, it was covered. I didn't see anything, I just saw a big blob of white. So they had the cheese cover the whole length of the noodle, all the way spilling out onto the plate. And then I cut into it, I didn't see any veggies. I saw a couple of peas, and then it was the noodle. I didn't see any marinara. And I'm like, okay. I mean, even though it wasn't that expensive, but I felt it was a waste of my time and money. And I'm like, why do you call this a vegetable lasagna? There's no vegetables in it. Ugh. You know, I thought of writing a review, but in Panama, it means nothing. So nobody's paying attention to it. They're gonna say, what's your problem? Oh, okay. And what do you want us to do? So I didn't bother. I'm like, oh, it's a waste of energy, waste of oxygen. All right, guys, so let's split this baby so we can go on our way, and I can figure out if there's something I can do today. So all the lights are out. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It really does. It's amazing, you guys. Look at that. Let me take a picture. You know I gotta take a picture for my channel. Clean the, yeah, I'm gonna have to find me a photographer. So maybe I'll do like a 2-3 hour session with different dishes so we can have pictures. You know, like one day I'll do all the stocks, you know, vegetable, fish fumet, um, chicken and beef, and then one day I'll do chicken. Are you still looking for an apartment? Who's asking me? All right. Ooh, bonito. Que bonito. Yes. One last taste. Could use a little bit more salt, but I'm not gonna put more. All right. So we are going to use this to form the couscous. We're gonna put it in here. All right. I need a clean spoon. La boca de Panama. Now, definitely prefer quinoa to this, but I wanted to try it, and I did, and it's white, which means it is a simple carb, which is not something I want to have in my cupboard. That turns to sugar. Okay, so I tried it, and then no mas. But I think the one that are larger grains, you know, it's like when you make a quinoa salad, it's so good. Okay, that's how you do it. And then now you're going to put the curry alrededor de. Greta, remember? Alrededor de meaning around. Alrededor de. So aquí lo ponemos aquí around. Alrededor de means around. Around. Alrededor del couscous. I don't think they call it couscous, but I just made it up. You see how the okra holds its shape? You don't want the okra to be overcooked, right? Okay, I think that's plenty. You give somebody this to eat, they're gonna be full. All right. It's important to clean your plate. You know how you see the chefs always cleaning the plates? It's part of the presentation. So you got your tofu, very nice. So you're gonna use that as a garnish. And you can put a couple of lemon wedges around this as a garnish, and that should work. Lemon wedges are really good as a garnish. Okay? Aquí estamos. Your curry with couscous. So you dig in and you have a very well balanced meal. You got tomatoes as a fruit, you got all your veggies, you have your grain, you get your protein. What else do you need? What else do you need? This is it. Voila. Voila, voila, voila. Oh, that looks so good. That really does. That really does. Please hit the like button, you guys. Every Sunday I come here and I spend time with you. Now, you know, it's kind of selfish too because I'm cooking for me, but sharing with you. Look at that. Woo! So remember, if you make a huge salad, you can use your tofu like that and throw it in there. That way, you know, you have some protein in, and then you can toast. You know how we're going to show you one time how you can toast chickpeas in the oven also. And you add in your salad and you add some tofu, you get your protein. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay? Hello, Ajene Ebene. We made a curry today with chickpeas. I had some leftover yellow lentils. And I have some green beans in there. I have some okra. And I have some broccoli. And then we cooked couscous. And then we topped it with some toasted tofu that is toasted in turmeric and curry powder toasted or dusted tofu. All right? All right, guys. Thank you for hanging with me today. God loves you. I love you. Thank you for your time. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bye.